Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation on student-centered learning in engineering education assessing engagement and satisfaction in a flipped engineering mechanics classroom. I'm Shah and this work is a collaboration between the University of Glasgow and the Singapore Institute of Technology. This study presents the design, implementation, and evaluation of a flipped engineering mechanics classroom involving 130 first-year mechanical engineering students. It represents the second pilot delivery of a blended learning approach for the SIT and University of Glasgow programs in Singapore. Online learning materials include video lectures, quizzes, readings, and discussion forums. Face-to-face sessions take place after students complete the online content. Student perception of the learning environment are evaluated by examining digital teacher support grounded in self-determination theory. Outcomes are assessed through student engagement and learner satisfaction. Online learning materials were developed in stages, including learning outcome analysis and learning design using the ABC framework, with accessible resources created with support from the LISU team during the first round. The main difference between the first and second pilot rounds was the delivery of online lectures. The first round was fully asynchronous, while the second round combined synchronous and asynchronous session to provide greater support for students. This is a sample of how we developed the online materials on the learning management system known as Excite. Students first engage with basic concepts through the virtual learning environment in Excite. Then they attended 2-hour face-to-face tutorials every alternate week. The 130 students were divided into two groups of about 65 and within each group formed teams of 4 to 5 resulting in 13 to 14 teams per session. Each 2-hour tutorial was structured into 4 parts. 30 minutes instructor review of the previous 2 weeks online lecture using visual aid. The another part was 30 minutes and that's on hands-on activities to apply concept. The next was 45 minutes team-based discussion and problem solving for tutorial questions. The last 15 minutes was for the review session and the students review the material and they took the help of the instructor if they have any questions. A total of 5 tutorials were conducted during the trimester, promoting engagement and knowledge building through instructor guidance and peer interaction. This slide presents the conceptual framework for our evaluation grounded in self-determination theory. The theory suggests that students are more motivated and engaged when 3 basic psychological needs are supported, which are known as autonomy, competency, and relatedness. In this study, these needs are supported within the blended learning environment through teacher support and digital support. Teacher support promotes autonomy, builds competency, and fosters meaningful classroom relationship. Digital support also enhances autonomy through flexibility and choice, competency through feedback and scaffolding, and relatedness through interaction and collaboration tools. When both teacher and digital components effectively support these needs, they positively influence student engagement, which includes behavioral, cognitive, emotional, and agentic engagement. This framework helps explain not only whether blended learning is effective, but also how it improves learning outcomes through psychological need, support, and student engagement. The research question was, what are the percentage agreement levels of undergraduate students regarding teacher and digital support and student engagement within a blended learning environment? Ethical clearance was obtained from Singapore Institute of Technology's Institutional Review Board prior to the study. A cross-sectional survey was conducted at a single time point during academic year 24-25 trimester 2 in week 9. Participants included 130 first-year mechanical engineering students with a response rate of 84 out of 130, which is equivalent to 65%. Consent was obtained online by Qualtrics on the survey's first page. Students were briefed on the study's purpose, assured of voluntary participation, and given 15 minutes during class to complete the survey. This slide shows the survey measure. A 5-point Likert scale, strongly disagree to strongly agree, was used across 57 items along with 5 socio-demographic questions. The measure include perceived teacher support, perceived digital support, and student engagement. For data analysis, we use descriptive statistic, calculating the frequencies and percentage agreement for each survey item. As mentioned before, lectures were delivered online using a blended learning of synchronous and asynchronous methods, allowing students to access lecture videos at their own pace. A dedicated schedule ensured structured learning. Zoom lectures run for 1 hour to guide students through the week's material and provide a topic overview, while the remaining time was used asynchronously for independent study. Most students utilize this dedicated time to access learning materials on the LMS system. This figure shows undergraduate students perceive teacher support for blended learning across the three SDT psychological needs, autonomy, competency, and relatedness. Highlighted percentage indicate students who responded agree to strongly agree. Autonomy very high with percentage above 88%. Competency slightly slower but still high with the lowest at 72%. And relatedness is very high comparable to autonomy. Overall, these results indicate a positive perception of teacher support across three psychological needs in the blended learning environment. For teacher support for blended learning, we can say autonomy is a ratings of the autonomy is strong, with 81 to 94% of students agreeing to strongly agreeing, indicating they feel they have choice and flexibility in engaging with course content. For the competency, the agreement levels ranging from 72 to 80% showing students feel confident in their abilities and they are supported well by materials and constructive instructor feedback. For the relatedness scores are very high, between 80 to 93%, suggesting students feel connected to and supported by their instructor in the blended learning environment. For digital support for blended learning, the figure shows student agreement on perceived digital support. Autonomy scores highest with a minimum of 82%, while relatedness is lower, ranging from 67 to 77%. Competency agreement is slightly higher than relatedness. Overall response vary across categories, indicating diverse experience with digital support in blended learning with the strongest impact on autonomy. For digital support for blended learning for autonomy, the agreement is high, showing that students feel in control of their learning, can use digital platform flexibly, and make decisions about their learning process. For the competency, slightly lower, indicating students generally feel capable with digital tools, though there is room to better support feeling of accomplishment and mastery. For the relatedness, its lowest rated is with students connecting more with instructor than peers or the broader digital learning community. The result shows student perception of engagement across 4 categories. Agreement is higher for behavioral and cognitive engagement and lower for emotional and agentic engagement. This indicates strong behavioral and cognitive engagement while emotional engagement is lower and agentic engagement is moderate, highlighting areas of improving for emotional and agentic aspects of the learning. On the student engagement part, we can say most students make a conscious effort, work hard, and participate actively. Students show high engagement in critical thinking and problem solving, exploring multiple approaches to tasks. Lowest agreement suggesting for the emotional engagement, students feel less enthusiastic and find blended learning less rewarding. Efforts are needed to boost enjoyment and motivation. For the agentic engagement, students can express needs and opinions, but there is room to improve communication of their interest or to instructors. In conclusion, we can say teacher support was strong across all SDT dimensions, particularly in promoting autonomy and relatedness, with students feeling encouraged to participate and connect with instructors. Digital support enhanced autonomy through flexibility and choice through competency and relatedness, especially peer interaction and sense of accomplishment could be improved. Student engagement was high in behavioral and cognitive aspects with strong effort and critical thinking, while emotional engagement was generally positive. Engagement was slightly lower, reflecting challenges in linking new learning to prior knowledge and expressing needs to instructor. Addressing participation, consistency, peer instruction, and communication opportunities can further enhance the learning experience and outcomes. Thank you very much for your kind attention for this presentation.